So with not a lot going on riding wise at the stables, I thought I'd do something a little bit different and give you all an insight into Marley's wardrobe. That's right, I'm going to go into my saddle pad collection. So this is probably my most basic saddle pad on my playlist. This is an Audi equestrian range special. I remember when I first started riding, I didn't know that they sold equestrian things anywhere other than like tack shops and things. So when I saw about the Audi range on Facebook, I begged my sister because she was heading to the shops, and I was like, please can you grab me a saddle pad? And she did. She got me this one. I do like the saddle pad. I think it's a really good one for like every day when I'm just going out on a hack or doing whatever. It's a good one to just grab, especially when I'm not sure, because I've got so many saddle pads. I'm like, oh god, which one do I use? Just go for the plain one. So it's a nice and easy choice for me to make. And it's always good to have a nice plain saddle pad anyway, so I really do appreciate having this one just for like general everyday riding. So this saddle pad is actually my Confidence well, at the time it was called a Ride with Confidence, but it's now Confident Equine. But I was a sponsored rider for them, and technically I still am. So I got this when I became a sponsored rider. So it's got my initials, Pippin's name on it, and sponsor embroidered, as well as the Ride with Confidence logo. So part of being with the Ride with Confidence is that it basically helps me with my confidence. It's a really great place to go, great group of people who are always so encouraging, and you can share stories about your riding, tell them how you're getting on. So part of being a sponsored rider is that I always gave them updates on what I was doing with Pippin and Marley, because that's how I had Pippin, hence why she's on the pad. And now it's just about all my struggles with Marley, because at the minute he's being such a nuisance. So it's a great way to just build my confidence, and it's great having that group that I can talk to and go to for support. For any of you who are watching that do struggle with confidence, I definitely recommend getting involved with Confident Equine, because they run an amazing buddy program where they buddy you up with a rider in your local area, someone that you can talk to, and possibly like just get some advice from if you ever need someone to help you out with your confidence and things like that. I do recommend just getting in touch with them and asking about their buddy program, because it's actually a really good program to have in place, especially for riders, because so many of us have like low confidence and it's not something that we talk about a lot. So I do think it's a really great program that they've just established there. So this is a John Whittaker pad. I actually really like this pad. It's so thick, it's really nice, it's great. I actually bought this when I was getting a birthday present for a friend who loves the colour green, so I got her a pad similar to this one in green, and at the time they were doing a deal, it was 2 for something, so I was like, I might as well get one myself. So I got this and I really like it. It looked really nice on Pip, and again it's a really nice neutral colour, so it's a really good everyday pad for me. And it's really thick, so I do like using it with Marley because it's nice and thick, especially where he's still building muscle. It's just nice to have a thick pad underneath his saddle at the minute as well. So this has to be one of my absolute favourite pads. For Pippin especially, I wore it with her all the time. I actually loved it on her, and I recently tried it on Marley as well, and it looks just as nice on him. It's by a brand called Harmony Horsewear, who sadly no longer are running, which is a massive shame, because I do really want to get my hands on a newer version, because this one is quite old now, it's a bit faded, but it's still just as pretty as it was when I first got it. So this saddle pad, I would like to think some of you would recognise, you might not, I don't know, but I actually have a head collar that matches this. So if you recognise this paisley pattern, it's because I have a matching head collar that I tend to use with Marley at the minute. This was actually Pippin's, and it's one of like my first proper matching sets that I got with Pippin. So I've got this numna, I've got the head collar, and I've actually got a fleece that matches it as well. There was an option for bandages that I now regret not getting, but I didn't get them at the time, so I didn't use bandages with Pippin. But now I do want them, so if I can find them, it'd be amazing. So as you might have seen from my floral pad before, I do love a floral print, and this is another one. This is a bit more understated than the first floral. It's not so bright in your face, which I do like about it. It's really nice and neutral, and it's grey, so again it's a nice neutral colour, so I can use it whenever. This pad is by HKM, and I love this. I first saw it in my local tack shop when I was back living at home, and it was in the last chance to buy section, and I'm a sucker for last chance to buys. I always think, what if it's my last chance? And that's exactly what I did with this pad. I was like, well, if it's the last chance to get it, I'm gonna get it. So I did, and I'm so happy I did, because I absolutely love it. This is a saddle pad by Roma, or Roma, I don't know how you'd pronounce it. I'd say Roma, and it's probably one of the oldest that I have. I'd actually call this a numna, because it's saddle shaped, so saddle shaped pads are numnas, square shaped pads are saddle pads. I don't know if anyone else does that. I tend to get some weird looks when I call it a numner, but that's what I've always been taught, so that's what I call it. And I actually got this for my very first horse. So Pippin's actually my second horse, technically my third if you want to get into technicalities. But this was for my first horse, Sora, who was my youngster. So I got this when I was starting to work with her and she got her saddle on for the first time. This was her first ever saddle pad. And yeah, it was really, really great. She was a chestnut dun. I'll put a picture of her somewhere. And she really, really suited purple. So purple was her colour. So this is Sora's first ever pad. I don't really use this one a lot, but again, it's got like sentimental value, so I don't really want to get rid of it. I might use it more like in the summer. I tend to use numbners because obviously there's less of the horse's body being covered, so they don't like get too hot. So I do think it's good to have a numbner around for when it's really, really warm and you're riding in like high temperatures. So yeah, eventually I will put this on Marley. I might actually use it today, who knows. So this is another Sora saddle pad. So I think this was Sora's first matching set. So yeah, I started my matchy obsession fairly early on into getting a horse. Sora, as I said, was a youngster, so she was unbacked when I got her, but she did have a matching set, and this is part of it. So this is by USG, it's USG Petrol, and I do have the matching ears and bandages for this. I haven't used it with anyone else. I don't think I've used it with Pippin, and I've definitely not used it with Marley, so now I think only Sora's used it so far, but it is fairly old. You can see there's some like staining on it here. It just needs a good wash, but again, it's one that I just can't get rid of because it was Sora's. So I will eventually probably get around to using it with Marley. But it is very, very old, so I probably won't use it too often. But that is this one. And then we have this one. So this is a equitheme saddle pad, or equitheme. I want to say equitheme, what else would you say? And yeah, there's not much to say about this one. It's red. It's a really thick pad. So when I first got Marley and we first started getting back on him, he had to wear 2 saddle pads. Because he was just really underdeveloped and his saddle didn't fit at the time because he didn't have any back muscle for it to fit too. So it was better for him to wear 2 saddle pads just to bulk it out underneath until he started developing muscle. So this came in really handy back then because it was good to have a nice thick pad underneath him just to protect his back. So I had that then. This came with Pippin, so actually I was really lucky when I bought Pippin that she came with everything she owned. So a couple of the pads I've already shown you actually came with her, so I didn't buy them, and this is one of them. And I do like it. It's again a really nice, just like basic general colour. Everything suits red. Marley suits red, so this is just a nice pad again to have just as a nice everyday saddle pad. Actually, next up I've got all the Lemieux, but I have got a few Lemieux. If you follow me on Instagram, you will know that matchy has become my new obsession. So I have got a few Lemieux saddle pads, so I'm going to actually do a separate video for those because I feel like it's going to take up a lot of time and this video is going to get really long. So I'm going to end this video here. I hope you liked it, doing something a little bit different and giving an insight into Marley's wardrobe. And please stay tuned for part 2. Thanks for watching. Bye!